So we're recording the class now. Before I pressed the recording button, I was talking about Madonna songs, and we were given opportunities to go to YouTube and listen to the songs. And now we're talking about how people judge singers. If there are any criteria, and whether those criteria has some kind of priority. So which is number one, the thing that people look at, and then number two, and so on. And we are all agreed on the fact that the first thing that we look for or look at is the quality of voice, right? And then comes the lyrics. And what else? What do you think? Especially if perhaps in the past the focus was on the voice of the singer, right? On the lyrics. But nowadays, I think there are new things. The way people judge songs, or used to judge songs in the past, obviously is different from the way we do it now, right? What's new?
There is visuals.
Yeah, the idea of video. Yes, video and media, right? Okay, this is new, right? Does it mean that we didn't have, that there were nothing in the background in the past that we can judge the song against? Of course, there were scenery, there were decorations and everything, but they are not as immediate, and they are not as active and as exciting as live video, right? Videos are different, right? Okay. Okay. So let's focus on voice, or on the voice of Madonna. Have you, now that you have heard the three songs, have you noticed any difference in the quality of voice, good or bad? I'm not talking to music experts, I know, but I'm talking to people who listen to music like everybody else. So what do you think? Have you noticed any difference? And whether this difference in the quality of voice is positive or negative? Remember, we started off with Material Girl, and then we moved on to Like a Virgin, and then we ended up with Like a Prayer. So what did you notice? And I am not expecting much, and make no mistake about it. It's okay.
Yes, can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that her voice is so thin.
Let me just ask you a question. Have you read the chapter? And I don't want people to be influenced by what the chapter is saying about people's voice. Is this what you genuinely felt, or is it taken from the book?
No, I didn't read the chapter.
That's
But
excellent. Yeah, that this is what I'm getting to.
that her voice
Perhaps.
is so thin. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you, Abraza, about whether this is the voice that you prefer or not. Do you like thin voices when it comes to singing?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, because it makes you feel, for example, relaxed, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Not singing in general. You're talking about thin voices, right?
Yeah.
Thin voices makes you feel relaxed, right?
Yes.
Am I? That's interesting. Any other observations, yeah, Abdurazak? Any other things that you would like to share with us about Madonna's songs?
And also, I noticed that while she's singing, she moves so a lot. She's moving. She's
Which
not.
is good or bad? What do you think? This is good or bad?
I think it is good so as to make the audience to 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 be active with her.
Yeah, she's trying to engage the audience, right?
Yes,
This is
yes.
what you're trying
She
to say.
tries to
That's
engage them with her, yeah, so as to also to entertain them.
mhm. That's interesting. Yes, thank you so much, Abdurazak. Abdurazak, I'm sorry. Anybody else? Toa, what do you have to say about the three songs? Any observations?
It was weird.
Okay. Yeah, Osama. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird in what way?
The third song, like a prayer. I didn't
Mhm.
know, is it about discrimination, about Jesus Christ, about murder? You don't know anything about. She's just singing with black people.
Yeah, which is, what do you think? Don't you think that this can attract people if sometimes controversy and not knowing about something makes you all the way anxious to listen, perhaps more than once, in order to get to the meaning of the song, right?
Maybe to get attention, maybe.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a very excellent observation, Yosef. Thank you so much. Unless you have something else to say, I mean, if you would like to share other observations.
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Who else?
Yes, Doctor.
Mr. Mohsen, go ahead.
The first song was very upbeat, so her voice adapted to that first
Okay.
song. Then when we listened to the last song, it was more miserable, I think.
Yeah.
So her voice was slightly different in each
Mm.
song.
In a positive or in a negative way? What do you think of this diversity and the fact that she started off in a certain voice quality and then she moved? Is that development in your opinion or what?
It's I think adaptation, to
Yeah.
adapt to the beat,
Yeah,
the
she's
tempo of the
adapted
song.
also to the scenario and of the song and also to the lyrics, perhaps, right?
Yes.
That's interesting. Yes, thank you, Mohsen. Abdul Mohsen, I'm sorry. Um, so we haven't heard, female voices. So, what do you have to say about the three songs?
I don't
Fatma?
know. I think
Yeah.
generally
Uh,
for me, I'm not fan of music or songs,
mm,
but it seems that the quality of sound wasn't that good, especially in the old songs. Plus, that her sound is sharp, and I don't like the sharp sounds.
I mean, when we talk about human beings, we talk about voices, not sounds, right?
Yes,
Yes, okay. Uh,
and
yeah, go on, go on. You're doing an excellent job.
I think that's it. I can't really get many things from songs, so I'm not good at it.
Yeah, nobody is. I mean, but we normally, I mean, we have ears, and even if we don't like songs or we're not into music, we cannot help but listen. I mean, hear stuff, right? Um, okay, that's interesting. Fatma, Sarah, Rawan, Mayada. Hmm. Anyway, that was good. Let's now go to the chapter and see what is in store for us. Bismillah. I think I need to also share the slides. So can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so we need not to lose sight of the fact that we are still in book one, and book one is about reputations. We have already done Cleopatra. We have already done Christopher Marlowe and Dr. Faustus, and we are doing the Diva, chapter 6, and chapter 6 marks the end of our activities in the first book. So as of next time, inshallah, we're starting the second book, and it's going to be philosophy. So the chapter is titled The Diva. So when I say the Diva, does the word ring any bells at the back of your minds? Have you ever heard of the word?
Yes, like entitled people.
Like what?
Entitled people.
What do you mean by entitled?
Like they act like they're the most important person in the room and stuff like that.
Yeah, it has a measure of importance and popularity to it, of course. But this is not exactly what I have in mind. Any other attempts? What are the associations of the diva, if any, when the name or the term is dropped? Does it invoke anything at the back of your minds?
I think
Yeah, okay, go on.
related to somebody has a talent, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Playing football
Mm-hmm.
or singing, etc.
Yeah, so we're talking about talent, but talent is all over the place, yeah, Abdul Razzaq or Razak. Are we talking about talent or supreme talent? What do you think?
Supreme talent.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Supreme.
people who are supremely talented are obviously different from people who are just talented, right? Okay. I would like us to unpack the word. Look at the word. So, does it remind you of any other words? I mean, derivatives, words that perhaps are taken from it, or it is taken from other words? So diva,
Da Vinci.
does it perhaps remind you of divine? What is divine?
Divine, I think something related to heaven or
Yeah,
related to God.
absolutely. So something related to heaven and God, which makes it good or bad?
Good.
Absolutely good. Okay. Sometimes this is especially so when we talk also about music. So when we say that music was heavenly, this is a praise or a criticism?
Praise.
Absolutely, right? So the music was heavenly, the music was divine. It means that it was or it is not just another type of music or not just another song, right? It means that it has a, an element that relates or connects to heaven. And obviously, heaven, with heaven, you only have good things, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So, diva is a title that you give to women. So, do we have a male counterpart? Yes, we do. We have divo. But divo is not very, you know, widespread or common. Normally have diva, and of course we refer to women. Again, we're talking about people or women who are supremely talented. And you hear it more in the field of music and cinema, right? I haven't seen or I haven't heard, you know, I haven't heard it used with female athletes, for example. Okay, طيب. So, what are some of the aims? Remember, we're developing English major skills. So, if it's music, it doesn't mean that we're training you on how to analyze music the way an expert musician or musician will or can. This is obviously beyond the scope of the course. The focus is on analyzing material on anything, and this anything happens this time around to be music. So we're looking at documents, we're looking at we're obviously doing the we're looking at the lyrics of the songs, because you know the lyrics would connect songs to literature. We're looking at concepts and ideas from different fields and how we can argue for or against them. This time around, we're looking at the concept of the diva, which is obviously taken from the world of music. So this chapter aims to give you an understanding of the concept of the diva. It is also meant to develop close reading skills, introduce some technical language used used in the field of music. And in order to talk about music, to analyze documents about music or the lyrics of a music, you need to have words, technical words that are used in the field. Of course, appreciating music and how music is made wouldn't harm you. Knowing about the complexities of musical composition and the demands these musical complexities make on performance wouldn't harm anybody, wouldn't hurt. Again, the chapter aims to demonstrate what is involved in the training of opera singers. Okay, so as you can see, so what kind of music did we listen to? Remember when we did Madonna? So this was what type of music?
Pop music.
Yeah, pop music. So this is a music genre. What other music genres do we have? So we have pop music, and what else?
Jazz, classical
Jazz,
music,
classical music,
country music,
country music,
folk music. I think
Yeah,
like music.
rap, folk music, gospel music, where there is, like we have seen in the third
Old music,
song. Excuse me, what
old
did you say?
music.
Yeah, old music can be any of that, right? Can be pop, can be gospel music, where there is a great deal of religious register, like we have seen in the third song. This was a gospel music, where there is talk about Christ and yani aspects of the Christian faith involved. Okay, so these are different genres. So like literature, music has its different genres. So we say music, and then under music you have different genres like rap, like uh, rock and roll, right? Pop music, gospel, jazz, country music. Okay, so with in this chapter we're focused on pop music as represented by Madonna songs and opera. Are you familiar with opera? Opera, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, another very quick task. I would like you to go to YouTube and write Maria Callas, which is Callas, and then write opera. Okay, and I would like you to press any opera that she performed in, anyone. Can we do that? So it's Maria Callas, Maria, and Callas is Ca. Let me give you the name here. It's going to. Can you see that, Maria? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Aslan wala. So it's Maria Callas or whatever the pronunciation is. Can you see that? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we
Yes,
see. We can.
doctor, we can see it.
Oh, okay, yalla, go to YouTube and write Maria Callas and write opera, and then choose any of her operas, and I would like you to listen for only a minute, and I'm going to do just that.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, messages that
Okay, good. Did you manage to listen to anything?
Yes.
Okay. So how different is Maria Callas from Madonna?
Very, very different.
Yes. Are we speaking about two different genres?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, where
Opera.
Maria Callas is what and Madonna is what? Maria Callas
think
is what kind of music and what kind of genre?
Opera singer.
Opera, yes, opera, yes. While
singing, while Madonna.
Madonna it's all singing, by the way, right? It's all singing, but Madonna's
Pop.
genre or type of music is pop music, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Are you into opera? Do you guys like opera?
No.
Only in movies.
Uh-huh. Okay. When they are part of a scenario in a movie, right? This is what you're trying to say, Sam?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So the main aim of the chapter is to give you an understanding of the concept of the diva and what it means to describe a singer as a diva. And of course, the word diva is Italian, and it means goddess, which is the female of God or a god. So again, remember when I told you that the word diva is a variation on the word divine, right? So diva and divine, right? Okay.
Yes.
So it has this sense of heaven to it. When something is heavenly, when something is divine, obviously it is excellent, it is supremely good and everything in between, right? Okay, so what other considerations do we have? We will consider the specific characteristics that lead to a performer gaining a reputation as a diva. So we're going to talk about what makes a diva, somebody who would stand out in the field of music and becomes all over the place in terms of popularity and everything. And we're going to discuss whether this label can be applied to singers from various musical backgrounds and in different historical periods. So the focus this time around is not on a single historical figure like we have done with Cleopatra and even with Marlowe. This time around, we're talking about several figures and we're talking about their different singing styles. So what is a diva? So the stereotypical diva in classical music is someone of supreme talent. So the talent, like we all agree, talent is very important. So obviously we're talking about musical talent. And musical talent, we're more specifically talking about singing talent. So supreme talent with great vocal facility. I mean, the quality of voice is should be great. Of course, we may differ on what makes a great vocal facility and what doesn't. We may differ on that. And together with that, you need to have somebody who is able to convey the emotion nuances of the music to her audience, the subtleties of music, the small intricacies that are relevant to the music and that can sway the audience, that can has such an impact on the audience. Okay, that this is typical diva characteristics. When I say typical, it means that these are established criteria. Okay, when they first thought of giving the label or the title diva to people, they had that in mind. They had what? They had supreme talent. They had great vocal facility, and like I said, the ability to convey the emotion nuances of the music to the audience. Again, together with that, you would add the personality and the character of the singer. The singer is normally and over time becomes through his or her character a larger than life individual with an identifiable public persona, so awe-inspiring. When they walk on the stage, you feel a mixture of perhaps respect and pleasure, and it's all kind of mixed together. You have your feelings are, you have confusing and confused feelings. You don't know whether you're so happy or so angry, so sad. That's why divas can also be bad singers. But those who has this, um, um, great influence on people, they have such a spell on people, even if they are bad. So you can have somebody who is supremely talented, but you wouldn't like his or her character. Okay, so on the professional level, when it comes to music and singing, they are excellent, but they are very antagonistic. They even pick up fights with their fans, right? It happens. So the term diva also carries the more negative connotations of one who is unreasonably demanding and difficult to work with, who storms off in rehearsals and refuses to communicate with colleagues. See? So supremely talented, has such an effect on the audience, but at the same time, he or she is difficult to deal with. Somebody who imposes her or his presence on people. Do we have that nowadays? People who, you normally have that, you now have controversial figures. Controversial means that people are divided over that or this person. And being divided over a person gives this person popularity, and in a negative way, of course. But still have millions upon millions who follow him, whether to press like or to press dislike. And the two of them count towards the popularity that he or she has, right? So these are criteria. These are things and characteristics, and these are observations about divas. We have the classical definition and criteria. And like I said, there is a negative side that we shouldn't overlook. The idea that this diva is normally very demanding and is very awe-inspiring and sometimes even negative towards people. And here is, we have obviously a conductor, somebody who conducts orchestras. I mean, and he has like his opinion when it comes to divas. This is Sir Charles Mackerras, and he describes the diva saying that I think it is an aura that some of them exude. Yeah, aura means that they make, once they appear on the stage, they take over the stage. I mean, you feel their presence, and people, like I said, are entangled in their mess, if you like, where you feel their heavy presence. Something which many good, even excellent singers may not necessarily possess. So this is not for everyone. It's more or less like saying that this person or this individual is charismatic. He has charisma. And charisma is not given to everyone. You can be an excellent teacher, but you don't have charisma. You can be an excellent singer, better than Madonna, but you don't have this awe-inspiring presence that she communicates when she appears on the stage. Okay, this is together with the idea that there is something unusual and weird about this individual, something compelling about their personalities. And like I said, it can be something very good, it can be very charming, and they can also be very repellent. Look at whom. I'm just trying to give you examples of people that we know who are supremely talented, but they have negative attitudes towards their fans and towards their crew or members of their teams.
Travis Scott.
What? Whom?
It's a singer.
What's
Travis
his
Scott.
name? Okay. So tell us about him. Yeah, I remember your name. I recognize your voice.
Ragad.
Ragad, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he's a singer. He has a good voice, but he treats his team so bad. Like a lot of people who work with him said that he treats them bad. He's racist and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's still famous and popular, right?
Yeah.
And he has perhaps millions upon millions of fans on YouTube and on his
and in one of his concerts, a lot of people died, and he didn't care about them.
Yeah, that's yeah. This is exactly what we're saying. Thank you, Raghat. Thank you so much. So he can be charming, and he can also be repellent. Look at, I mean, there is an Egyptian actor by the name of Muhammad Ramadan. Do you know this guy?
Yes, we know him.
Yeah, if you look at his behavior and how he behaves and how provocative he is.
He's too proud of his money for no reason.
Yeah, he's very arrogant. He is, I mean, he comes up with weird actions and things. And he's still popular. And
he loves the intention.
I mean, yeah, I think he's past it, yeah, Osama. Right? But he insists on coming up with this kind of weird behavior. This is another example because I mean, he is a diva, whether we like it or not. للأسف, yeah, right? I would like, this is also part of what I want you to do when we finish from here. I would like you to go to some of his songs and tell me how many millions of times they were seen and watched. And you're going to be shocked. Can you do that? I would like you to go, not now.
You mean about Muhammad Ramadan or the Divya?
Muhammad Ramadan. And
Okay.
tell me, I mean, of course, the counts are always there at the bottom of the video. Yeah. Okay, Raghat, go ahead.
188 million view.
MashaAllah. And this is translatable in money, right?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So divu in a negative sense, obviously, right? Okay. So although diva is generally used in its feminine or female form and tends to be applied to female singers of opera, it has a male equivalent, which is divo. Okay, so you can apply all the characteristics and criteria of a diva to a male, but instead of saying diva, you say divo. Again, it was also exclusive to opera in the past, but now it is being applied more broadly to female singers in a variety of musical styles and genres. That's why we're having Madonna, who is a pop singer and not an opera singer. Okay, and we have examples.
So
Excuse
this
me?
word is used casually?
Is what?
This word is used casually? Usually, I mean.
Yeah, diva for women and divu is for men. And diva was exclusive to female singers working in the field of opera.
So
but
nowadays they're using this word?
Oh yeah, but people are, you can you can describe anybody that you like as a diva because you think he or she is a diva. But of course, diva and divu is more or less like having a canon. And let me tell you about what I mean by a canon. Canon means that critics have agreed on a list of writers, whether they are poets or short story writers or novelists. They agreed on the fact that there is a list of writers that people should read because of the quality of their writings and all these kinds of things. And we have the English canon, for example, and on top of the English canon, you have Shakespeare, for example, and then you have Marlowe and all these people. So diva can be more or less like a canon that has criteria. So if you meet the criteria as a singer, you become a diva or part of the canon. You become canonized. Okay? And this canon was in the past, it was when it started, it has certain kind of criteria, and also there were restrictions. If you're not this, you're not part of the definition. But like I said, over the years, they have extended the concept and the definition, and they now allow female singers working in any musical genre. And if they meet the other criteria, they become divas. And we have examples, as you can see. Some of them are perhaps very recognizable. So which of these people can you recognize? Recognize means you know, you have seen something by them. Together, of course, with Madonna, Judy Garland, Marlene Dietrich, and all the others. Are you familiar with any of these names?
No.
Okay, fine.
I've heard of Madonna, but I don't know what she do. I've
Madonna?
heard her name.
Madonna?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you come late or something?
Yeah, I came late. I'm sorry.
لا, it's not about that. The reason why I'm asking you because we have listened to 3 of her songs before you came. She's a pop star or a pop singer. Okay, fine. Anyway, remember I told you that unlike the other chapters where the focus was only on one single figure, today in this chapter we have 4 case studies, which means that we have 4 people or 4 figures. We're starting with Madonna, and then a young soprano in training. We're doing also Maria Callas, and the Ferraris ladies. Okay, and what is interesting is that they belong to different time periods. We're going to go as far back as the late 16th century. And we're going to end in the 80s and the 90s of the 20th century. But we're going to start in a reverse chronological order. Chronological order means that we start with the past and then we move on to the modern times. Okay, but we're doing the reverse. We're doing it in a reverse or reversal way, where we start with the new or the latest and then move on to the past. Which means that we're going to start with Madonna, who happens to be the latest. And then we move to Maria Callas, who was a mid-20th century music icon. And then we go all the way back to the late 16th century. Okay? So we're studying how the reputation of these singers is established and transmitted. And we're going to consider whether they are deserving of the name given to them, divas. And we're starting with Madonna. And like I said, when you get to know that Madonna is a pop star or a pop singer, you say, no, we cannot describe her as a diva, because diva or the title or the label diva is exclusive to opera singers. If you say that, you're partly correct. But like I said, over the years, they have extended the definition in order to include other female singers belonging to other genres and other styles of music. So a bit of information about Madonna. So her name is Madonna Lois Veronica Siakon. She was born in 1958. She's still alive. Perhaps one reason why we're saying that she is a diva would be the fact that she is the biggest, or she was the biggest female pop star in the 80s and the early 90s of the 20th century. And she continues to this day to fascinate and attract close attention. Again, it started off with her singing. When she was singing, there was, of course, close attention on her. Of course, she is still, you know, the source of admiration and the source. She still inspires her fans. But what is new is that academics are starting to look at her achievement and see and explore what she did and subject her to academic study as a phenomenon. They deal with her as a phenomenon. Again, because of what she did. There is this belief or impression that she lacks one of the most important element when it comes to calling somebody a diva, which is the quality of voice. They are exploring and studying that. How come her voice is not that excellent, but she still is given the name diva? Okay, so what could be some of the reasons why she's given the label diva? And what could be the reason why she has such an attention given to her by everybody, including academics? So this attention is understandable because she has had more number ones and consecutive hits than any other woman. Obviously, I don't know whether this still holds true or not, because we have other, we're living the age and the time of the internet and YouTube, and I think by now other women appear, women singers appear, and I think they made more hits and more views than she did, right? I think I need to consult with my daughters because they are into music and they keep talking about Billie Ashley. I don't know them, and obviously these women. Again, we're talking about her time when she had produced so many number ones and also lots of smash hits. And she was also the recipient of so many music awards. And she has sold over 300 million records, which is it's broken down into 100 million singles and 200 million albums. I think we have people who have done more than that nowadays. Madonna's position in the music industry was further cemented in 1992 when she signed a $60 million contract with Time Warner, which is obviously now nothing, giving her full control over her own production company. She established, she now has, or at the time she had the financial means to start a company, a music production company. And if you have a music production company, you are in full control. So you're not only a singer, right? So if you can kind of run and manage a music production company, and you can manage it so well. What does this tell you about the personality of this individual? So can you see that it's not only about music, it's not only about singing, obviously. It's about managing the business of singing and managing the business of music. And obviously there is nowadays at least, there is more to music than just sitting on the stage and performing. This is not the only sure way for success, right? That's why nowadays we hear of singers talking about their they have managers, people who manage their business. They negotiate contracts for them, right? They set up their schedules. They talk for them. So it has, I mean, the business has become, the music business has become so big, right? So Madonna's reputation is not based merely on her musical talents, because if it's about her musical talents, she wouldn't have been given the title diva, right? So there are other factors that have to be with her ability to run the business and how she can stay in the public eye for so many years. This is also something that has to do more with managerial abilities than singing, right? We're going to look at a number of considerations. Like I said, our starting point should be voice. The voice is number one when it comes to calling somebody a diva. Okay, so let's talk about her and see whether she has, kind of passed the test of voice or not. So divas are usually renowned for their vocal prowess, for their vocal abilities. However, it's very ironic that Madonna's voice is often criticized as being the weakest aspect of her performance. See? Very strange. When you ask people about Madonna's voice, they say, no, her voice is weak. But she still, she still lives with her fans. She has stopped singing for quite some time, but still have millions of people following her and liking her. So obviously it's not, with Madonna, it's not about voice. It's voice and performance. And when I talk about performance, I talk about the stage, I talk about the videos, the backgrounds, the actions, starting controversy, I mean, looking in a certain way, shaving her head, wearing a cross, I mean, doing very weird stuff. So this is not obviously music, and this is obviously not voice. So again, with Madonna, there is more to her being called a diva than just her voice, because her voice is, like I said, is often criticized as being the weakest aspect of her performance. And we have remember the songs that we spoke about, especially we have taken two songs from the 1980s. Remember when we spoke about Material and Like a Virgin, and we have heard them, remember? And then we have a song, the third one is Like a Prayer. and it was released in 1989. We have listened to them, and even Abdelrazik said that her voice is thin, which is not something good about a singer, obviously. And then we had Usama talk about weird stuff that she does. And perhaps this weird stuff that she does is what keeps her in the public eye for as long as she wants. So this decade, I mean the 80s, was phenomenally successful for Madonna. She was very successful, both artistically and commercially. So artistically, we understand, because this is the usual criteria. You judge Madonna and the other singers based on on whether they are successful artistically. But this commercial part is new, and this is perhaps Madonna's achievement. This is what she contributed to the music industry. She added this business part to it. So you would judge a singer and you would assign him or her the label diva and divu based on whether he is also successful as a promoter of his business and a promoter of his music and performance or not. Look at, even in the Arab world, look at some singers. Let's take a male and let's take a female. The male, we will call the male divo. Look at who do we have? Amri Diab, for example. Are you familiar with this guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, his voice is not the best of all possible voices, right? You have other singers who are way better than him. But who is on top?
He's sitting on top.
Yeah, obviously not for purely music reasons, but because he knows how to be in the public eye by making people curious about him. He doesn't make lots of interviews, for example, right? He knows how to set his songs. This idea of performance, very lovely girls in the background, very lovely places. His songs are set in Greece and Turkey and Europe, where you have nature, you have the sea behind, right? Let's look for females. We have a number. Yeah, Kulthum is, yes. But I wouldn't put Kulthum with perhaps I'll talk about her when I come to Maria Callas, because we're talking about classical music. But let's have somebody who belongs to the same age, like Amr Diab. You have people who, again, you have people who have better voice quality, but they are not as famous. They are not as popular, right? Let's talk about divas, singing divas in the Arab world.
Ahlam.
Ahlam, for example. Again, it's not the quality of voice that would earn her the name or the label diva, right? It's again the fights that she has with what would remember this lady Shams al-Kuwaitiyya, for example. They always have those fights, and obviously that would attract people, right? The way she dresses and jewels and the jewelry that she has, the private jet or a private aeroplane that she has, right? So again, that would yani kind of confirm the idea that there is more to divas nowadays than just the quality of voice, right? Okay. So again, we're exploring to what extent the success of Madonna is due to her merit or merits as a singer. So we have already listened to Material Girl, who spoke about it, and we had some very excellent observations about the quality of voice and the background and everything in between. So Madonna's voice to be quite thin and reedy and lacking in power and resonance. In many respects, her voice does not display any of the vocal qualities typically associated with the diva. So when it comes to the test of voice, she fails because of how thin her voice is, because of how lacking in power and resonance her voice is, which is very strange. So if she doesn't have this requirement, if she does not meet this requirement, what is left? What is left is how she runs the business, how she manages to keep herself in the public eye for years and years. um, so obviously, if it's about voice, we could have wrapped up the discussion and that would be it. But there are other aspects. There are other new aspects that come into play when we call somebody. And those other aspects were introduced by Madonna herself. This is her contribution. When people, start to or think of giving or assigning somebody the label diva, they wouldn't think only of voice. So it's voice. She is author, producer, and entrepreneur. Author means that she writes her own lyrics. She produces everything. She's an entrepreneur because she has a music production company. So if you don't admire her voice, if you don't like her voice very much, you would admire how she runs this whole setup, how she wears those different hats. At one point, she's an author. At another, she's a producer. At a third, she's an entrepreneur, and she is also a singer. So one of the most important ways she achieves this is by overseeing the music's authorship and production. Again, another thing that she contributed would be keeping herself in the public eye for so many years, because she cared so much about her image, how people look at her. She knows. Remember Cleopatra? Still remember when we did Cleopatra and we said that Cleopatra cared so much for her image and how people would see and perceive her. Remember? That's why she had those, I mean, her image, you know, kind of minted on coins. She had her image also engraved and inscribed on temples, right? This is what Madonna is also doing. She cares so much for how people would look at her and see her. So her image is very important, and she knew how to manipulate her fans by having them think of her in a certain way. She knew how to appeal to people. There is no doubting that she has star appeal and succeeded in attracting fans from diverse social, cultural, and racial backgrounds. Look at Osama and the others. Look at her third song, Like a Prayer. Have you seen when you look at I mean, Like a Prayer, you see that one of the characters is black, and it seems that he is a symbol and a representation of Jesus Christ. So by doing that, she's obviously appealing to the Anglo-American members of the audience, right? She's trying to start or create a black base among her fans, and this is very intelligent and smart. So Madonna has always exercised control over her public persona, and this is something that many divas are keen on. Again, what is more is that she is obsessed with commercial success. And this obsession with commercial success and fame has led her to change continually. She changes the way she dresses, the way she behaves, the way she does everything. And that would, and she, in this way, she is manipulating her image to stay in the public eye for as long as she can. One of the critics is even saying that she represents a bankable image, an image that is full of, you know, attraction. She attracts people through her image. And of course, she manipulates this image, and she looks, you know, different every time she appears. She is trying to construct some kind of cult in an era of media globalization. Again, Madonna's fame and reputation are partly due to the way that she has exploited and manipulated video for promotional purposes. So it's not music and it's not singing and full stop. There is obviously more than just that when it comes to Madonna. Again, what helped her, obviously, what helped her would be or was the rapid development in methods of mass communication. And we're talking about the last 30 and 20 years. Again, when we talk about technological change and development, we talk about video, television, film, and newspaper, and all this, and of course the internet. So it's global exposure that she wants and that she secured. Madonna is unquestionably one of the most famous women on the planet. And then we move to another song, like a prayer. And this is the third one. If you look at the lyrics, you cannot make head or tail out of them, but it's but the religious register is very clear. We don't have an outline or a clear narrative, of course. And the meaning and the interpretation is up for grabs. And this is, again, very intelligent. I mean, you can, kind of interpret the song the way you want. Osama spoke, I mean, his interpretation would be different from mine. Osama thought that she is a racist by when she brought in this black guy, and there were those violent practices against him. Somebody may kind of find echoes of Christ in this black guy. Which, so having this controversy, not knowing what or how to interpret the messages in the song is in and of itself a success. Again, you don't have this traditional kind of singer where she stands on the stage, respectable and doesn't move, and the stage is like a shrine to her. No, it's not. Her performance and her music is normally dance oriented, and she moves in tandem with music fashion. And she has embraced a wide variety of genres, sometimes disco, sometimes rap, and sometimes electronica. Again, this is quite unheard of. This is new. And like a prayer, for example, she appropriates black gospel music, which is something that Afro-Americans and black people are going to find very, very appealing. So this is a form, I'm talking about gospel music. This is a form of African American religious music featuring large church choirs and virtuoso solists, those who were, sing on their own, whose vocal style is characterized by a fervent energy and spiritual ecstasy. It's in this kind of music, you feel that people are praying rather than singing and engaging in something that would bring in entertainment. Again, if you compare the three songs, you would feel that perhaps like a prayer is more mature. The voice is not as thin as it is in the other previous songs, but again, this wouldn't be the only reason why she is given or assigned the title Diva. Of course, we appreciate the fact that her voice developed and matured within a relatively short space of time, but again, this is only one aspect of being called a diva. And we're talking about videos and how that helped, establish her as a diva. She, to her credit, Madonna was one of the first pop stars or artists to recognize the importance of music video. With music video, people wouldn't focus their attention only on the quality of voice or on the lyrics or on the singing. So by doing that, she was kind of trying to liberate her songs uh, from being purely sonic experience. Sonic has to do with voice. People would look at other things, the video, the narrative, and so the video opens up a variety of new meanings. You may not even understand what she means. You may not understand the lyrics, but the video experience can also be as satisfying as and as enjoying and as entertaining. So her status as a pop diva is also due to other factors. Like what? Like her chameleon-like image. Chameleon means that she is like a chameleon. Chameleon is this animal that changes color more often than not. So today she is with hair, and tomorrow she is shaved. Today she's wearing tattoos. Tomorrow she's without them. Her clothes, and she is a fashion setter. People would wait for her to appear so that they can copy and emulate her in their clothes. I think we need to stop on this note. Do you guys have any questions? Wait.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm asking about the midterm.
What about it?
The time when it's going to be.
They haven't decided yet, but for sure it's not next week. So you need to check the website, the university website. The only schedule available is the schedule of the computerized exams, EL120, EL111, and EL112. Other than that, they haven't released the schedule for the paper-based exams yet. Not paper-based because you're going to do it on campus. The exams, the 8 and the 4-hour exams. But check. And like I said, it's not next week. Okay, everyone?
So it's not
Doctor, is it on campus?
Yeah, yes. The midterm is on campus. You have to come to the university.
So one more question, doctor.
Okay.
The from where we revise until we have stopped here, or we are going to cover all the unit?
Yeah, we'll cover everything next week, but I would like you to go back to the songs and listen to them. Check the part on Maria Callas. I mean, read the chapter. Read the chapter, and next week we're going to finish it off, inshallah.
I mean, I'm asking about the midterm.
The midterm, you go to the slides and look at them. They are very exhaustive. You don't need anything. I mean, of course, the chapters, if you would like to read the chapters again. Or you go to the slides. The slides that I am using are on the central LMS. Go there and download them and study them. They are very good notes because they are very exhaustive. Exhaustive in the sense that they cover everything. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. So on this note and with this item, we come to the end of today's class. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.